Welcome back to Game On, and we're happy to have Jace Kosana back in the crew, so much so that Shane decided to stay on in welcoming you back. So welcome back, Jerry, and let's get straight into it. Pirates against Magesi, the new boys in the top flight of South African football, the biggest moment in South African football so far, up against Pirates in the Carling knockout. Your thoughts on this fixture, Chet?
Thanks, Caesar. I think for me, for Pirates, we always say they're the cup specialists. And they just recently won the MTN 8. And for me, if we look back in the same fixture of last season, they lost to debutants in Richards Bay. So now they're playing another debutant in Magesi. So I think maybe the mindset needs to change because they've been through that problem of them saying in the Carling Cup, we've got this small team like Richards Bay, they knocked them out. So now it's Magesi. So I think they'll come into the right mind because an upset can be on the cards if they don't look after themselves.
Now, injuries are a bit of a factor here that may work in favor of Magesi. Nda, influential captain out. Talent Mbata also been ruled out. Maswangani, you have to wonder if the form of the national team will affect him coming back to Orlando Pirates. Your thoughts on this, if you are Magesi, looking at this fixture?
For Magesi, they're obviously excited to be playing against Pirates.
Yeah.
Obviously, want to get over. They're champions of the Nedbank, so you always want to be playing against teams like that, especially as newcomers. You know, that's the big thing for me. Pirates have got enough players to bring in anyway. So they've got enough. They're not as big as Sundowns when you come to the bench, but they got the quality to bring in. Wouldn't be too much of a problem for them. For Magesi, it's a cup final. Simple as that. Pirates got to, like Jerry said, got to be more consistent. Can they be more consistent over the whole year? That's going to be the next thing in the league. But for Magesi, it's their cup final.
What of the fact that this is at the Orlando Stadium and Pirates have had so much joy there this season?
And crowds.
Well,
and crowds,
yeah.
Good thing, you know. Hopefully it carries on that way.
Jerry?
I think it's going to be a good atmosphere for Magesi, as Shane is saying as well, because for them to get into that fortress, there are a lot of people that will be coming there. So it's obviously something which they will be creative about. It's win or lose, but winning would be something extra. But I mean, for them to get into Kweska Maminzela to play Orlando Pirates there, so it's going to be something that they will cherish.
Now, let's talk Mamelodi Sundowns at the Lucas Motsepe Stadium. There's a few factors here that are quite interesting. Steve Fompela, for one, formerly with Golden Arrows not too long ago. Kenyeza, former Sundowns player back in his day. But most importantly, no Zwane. Zwane is one of those players that one can say is irreplaceable, whether with the national team or with Mamelodi Sundowns. No Zwane Shane going into this one. For Garros, what do you think?
Well, that's going to play in their favour, obviously. You know, they're going to look at it and say, well, look, there's no Zwane and we know what a quality player is. Will he be making changes in this team? Will he be bringing players back into the team? Will he be consistent and say, no, you stay there until I'm ready to bring you back? We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. But you look at Sundowns. Let's look at the quality they have. They can bring in another 3-4 players. Sure. So that should be good enough. Arrows have been disappointing this year. They started off disappointingly. Time to turn it around for them. And what a great time to turn it around against Sundowns. But whether they can, I'm not too sure.
Well, they started off top of the log, keep in mind, for the first week and a half or so. Yeah, it's fallen off a bit in recent times. But there's the big debate here is that the Mokwena issue. Struggled to get game time, Mudau as well. But you've seen what they've done with the national team, especially in PE. Is he one of those irreplaceable players as well, Mokwena?
He's one of them. He's one of them. I mean, he has proven it, honestly speaking, because if there was like a big talk in the social media about him being selected for the national team, hence he was not playing at Sundowns, him and Kuliso, Mudau. So look at the impact that they brought to the national team. So I think for me, that's the quality of the players themselves to say anytime, any day, as long as our mindset is right, we're ready to play. They've proven it with the national team. So I think now it's going to be pressure to Sundowns because supporters are going to fight Sundowns if these players are not there. Whatever differences they have, they need to sort them out because these players went out there to say we want to play, we can play. So what is the problem at Sundowns? So I think that's where everybody would be keen to know what is the real problem in these two players not featuring Sundowns. Yes, Kuliso did play in one of the games for Sundowns, but for Mokwena, After what happened with the national team, I think something big needs to be exposed. That
It's going to be a very brave coach to leave him. That way.
I'll tell you what's interesting is arguably for me the fixture of the weekend, SuperSport United against Kaizer Chiefs. Kevin Hunt formerly with Kaizer Chiefs may have a bit of a score to settle with Kaizer Chiefs in the way things went in his time there, but they play each other twice in a week's time, starting off with the Carling knockout. We all spoke about Chiefs after this international window. We saw them in the Kafu Cup. Your impressions of them then, especially without Cirinho, and how do you fancy their chances against SuperSport United?
Well, having played for both of them, as Jerry having played for both of them, it's going to be an interesting game. You know, Chiefs, as I said to you in the beginning of the year, let's give him time. He's going to need a little bit of time. It's coming right. You can see slowly but surely they're playing to his pattern. Things are changing for him. Sorry, for SuperSport, you know, they haven't played in how long?
Yeah.
That's a worry for me. You can play as many friendlies as you like. You can do all of that. You can train as hard as you like. You haven't played games. It's a big problem. I'm looking at this. And funny enough, I'm looking towards Chiefs just because of the game time they've had and that they played more competitive football.
I think, I'm sorry with that, maybe just to get to Shane. Whose game is it? They're playing at Peter Mokaba Stadium.
Peter Mokaba, yes,
Whose game is it?
SuperSport.
SuperSport.
Yeah.
But that's the Chiefs' home ground as well.
But Chiefs everywhere is home ground.
Even Bloemfontein now against Gallants.
Wherever you go play nowadays, it's home ground.
I'm asking you, my colleague, because you featured in both of these teams and they're all going to play in their home ground.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a tight game.
I must ask you though, Coach Nabi, at the end of the Gallants game, wasn't happy. Second half, he felt they gave the momentum to Gallants, and Gallants owns large parts of the second half. Many people felt that way, even though it went to a penalty shootout. That's that trend again. Going back to what Mama Mniti even pointed out. First half, they're okay. Second half, they're not quite the same. They fixed that against Sundowns. It came back to haunt them over the weekend now. So still, what do you say following that?
I think it's something which maybe he's busy with, the training. So, but for me, I just give credit to Nabi because there are a lot of changes that are coming there. You look at the players' attitude, the way they express themselves in the field of play. So it's the confidence that you get from a coach as a player. You know, if I'm not good enough and the play and the coach keeps on hammering me, if I'm good in my state of mind, I would want to prove a point. I would want to go out there and do the best. I think that's the pressure with all these players because Nabi doesn't take any favors, to be honest. I mean, he wants to play people that want to play for Chiefs. He said it. It's not going to just be a turnover just now. It's going to be a long term to make Chiefs the best team again. So for me, that's something which I can give credit to Nabi at this point.
So, could be the biggest test for Kaizer Chiefs so far in the current campaign when you consider the loss to Mamelodi Sundowns. The two fixtures coming up against SuperSport United won't be easy. So, it'll be interesting to see how things turn out in the battle between Johannesburg and Tshwane in that regard. We take a short break and talk all things Hollywood bets on the other side of this.